It's just how well can these initiators control the main? Are they able to take mid control, break that alarm bot in mid? What is their tree pressure like
keep an eye on the
side? And are the Omen one-ways sticking?
Yeah. And I'm looking at the IGLs in this one as well. Which team can adapt better? For IGLs that are stepping kind of freshly into the role, can you find that adaptation at the end? Because Ascent is almost always going to be a close game.
This is going to be a fun one. I have no idea how this, no one knows. If I did, I probably would have played the lottery by now. But that being said, the good news is two guys who play the lottery all the time. That's because we're all old. We have the one and only Vansili and Riv on the call. Let's see what ends up happening with this game.
Thank you so much to the boy who's golden, Riv. Yeah, well, I mean, we're old, but we don't really gamble here, but it might be a gamble to figure out who's going to win throughout this series, rather, between these two teams, because MIBR, they have an opportunity here to be the second team.
There's some bold jumpers going down. There is some bold jumpers.
They did.
Going
they absolutely
down.
did. We'll see if it can have it. Are they bleeding still, right? Have they repaired? Are they recovered? Are they patched up? Or is that wound still open? And can MIBR find it? I believe it's going to be the Jet matchup like we were hearing before. Heat being able to control games before. Do we see him back to that position?
MIBR on the defense, Crew on the attack.
Place where he can basically make a team think twice about peeking an angle unless you have two people on it. Hasn't it? The same story there, as it looks like we'll get more mid-play now than we have all Ascent start of VCT.
Does this bait work? Do they expect the kill, Joey?
Started very fast. He was already under heavy control. Is forced to dash away into the market.
They might have just dodged a bullet by going up short.
Towards that market side, but look at FRZ, still very much pushed up. Could hear the auto cues, the flash moving forward as RGL's also pushed back. So two players on the defense now damaged as Crew's moving into the A site.
Nice round for them so far.
The gamble for mid.
Problem is they have no map control.
But now how quick does Crew set up the
Problem is they're not expecting short. Problem is this isn't the best afterplant positions. They got no map control. They took nothing. Oh boy.
From MIBR,
it's fine.
Looking at the 0 point.
Waiting for a good timing.
4. So they know.
On the defense, Paranoia, and even a recon there. So a nice combo. As Crew's moving in for a hold, GZZ enters back with a frenzy. Slowly but surely, all of Crew is falling down. Only one to go.
Damn, they took no map control.
Stepping up to the plate for this pistol round for
They're
MIBR.
not gonna win by doing that one. Okay, nice pistol from MIBR. Good recon, Omen flash.
Everybody's focused on an internal angle. A main's fine. You already have
they gotta take map control there. You can't win by doing that.
Confident about what angles you're checking. And Crew kind of went for a bet there. That is definitely a difficult hold to make happen.
Nice cleanup from the frenzy.
We see why. Nice job by MIBR to start off strong here. Looks like they won't do any gamble stack, but still leaving Heat towards middle on these rounds. So it looks like they will not allow Crew any sort of games towards that area. And the spike's going to stay towards A. Might be just util and ultra grabs here for the beginning. Right, 3 pretty big util actually used just to get that space, and the spike's first. So easy hold now for MIBR.
Spike down out of the open. It's going to be very difficult for Crew to get it back, especially these one-ways continuing to come up on the defensive side of RGL. Also see on that mini-map, the radar, a player has been lost for Crew early from the hands of Heat on that mid battle, as you mentioned over here, Riz. So Kesnet activating that dash, looking to get a lucky kill here. But there's just
not much damage on top of this. Man,
very tough to lose
the
that spike
impatience is crazy.
Didn't
even want to wait out the smoke
here. And it's not even pushing up too much, right? They're meeting at the entrance. They're fighting for A main. They're just making sure Crew can't get positioned to set up that utility to make the site take happen. Always there on the line of scrimmage so far. We'll see what the bonus round has for him. Here is Davies working around the map, seeing if he can find someone's back here in the last few seconds of the round.
Exactly. After he got spotted on tree, trying to catch one off the rotate of B.
30 seconds
that rotation
left.
of MIBR came from mid into cat.
Right.
Easy kill for Heat.
Let's see. That's
a
very, very nice
Not much
bonus.
you could do here for Crew on that eco that you brought in. But now an opportunity to fight back.
Nice bonus.
The rifles are at least
Orb's
coming in on
close.
the attack.
Big rounds.
JZZ 2 away
Let's
from
see
ultimate
if,
at 4.
let's see what
Now
Crew have got
3-0
first.
for Heat. They're feeling good, so
Not
we
the
should
most
see those
convincing
actually
start.
come up if they do find any trouble. But it's Vandals across the board here.
Okay.
It's like Crew's going for the one taps, and we'll see how they try to play a 3-2 split. 0 point probably going up towards Cat here so they can make sure mid's covered for the most part, but more pressure towards mid from MIBR. 3 again.
Yeah, and they really want to go for this bait early on.
I like it for Crew though. Those Vandals that are coming out, playing that distance of pressure exactly in that. The long range of the Vandals against the submachine gun.
No one shot the recon.
While they lose one on
three people mid and they didn't shoot the recon.
RGL couldn't really come out for the support from Cat because of the smoke that was thrown from Melzer. Now Crew has a lot of the map.
Yeah, it was nice, and also they swung at the same time.
That's a big play from Kesnet too. They put a lot of flashes in there. Davies over the wall. Bolt came through as well from Klaus, so a lot rested on Davies' shoulders to be able to get an opening pick there. 4v3 as they look to enter A. The drone's going to signal this as MIBR starts to rotate.
Good delay, fragment on the ground, so that cancels out the paranoia that was thrown on the attack from Melzer.
Oh, they didn't decide to go for it. They might have lost their window.
This gives
3
a chance
people going for
all of the players of MIBR to rotate over and stack towards this A site. Recon dart will be important here for Crew to see if they could spot anybody. But we stay hidden, we stay behind for MIBR. Finally, after the initiation, still we open up! A 1v1 class is low
1v1, damn they. I have no idea when they tagged this guy Heaven why they didn't go in.
Here's the execution from RGL.
They lost their window.
As soon as he
they gave him a chance to have 3 people inside him. It was a nice flash from
window to choose as the players from Heaven were also peeking. And it wasn't a paranoia, right? They come in just smoking out and making sure they can get the angle that they need. You see the two
nice bonus from MIBR. They did everything right. Rotated over, flash was good. Everyone swung together. Everyone on the same page.
Really creating stress once Crew gets to the site. MIBR seems to have
he gets
Crew
his op out.
Shook. Stingers to Sheriffs for the side of Crew as they look to kind of put all their forces and cards here towards B.
The attempt of trying to go quick, stopped by the Nano Swarm. FRZ already playing towards the switch. The half buy that comes in very low for Crew.
They get recon.
A little bit of a think, yes. Heavily damaged for Crew.
Up already.
Yeah, came in early for heat right there for that mid pressure.
Whoops.
Okay, that's up down. That's kind of expensive.
As we mentioned that, but still looking pretty good for MIBR. Keeping the last 2 players pinched inside switch and market.
Last player standing.
The Aldrone allows the wall bang from JZ to come out. Davies with that rifle. I got that pick onto heat. Attempting the clutch.
That's
a 3
disgusting.
versus 1 fragment.
Yeah, that was a disgusting nade. Holy hell. Nicely done from MIBR. That's some good stuff.
Salvage the op and put 4 on the board.
One of those plays that makes you hold your breath for a moment. You see it in this play right here. FRZ coming out with a smart one. You see MIBR thinking it's the save. What tricks can they pull? Jet to switch is always a good one. So FRZ holds that down right away, and they can't even execute the second layer of that strategy. After you see
Op is still out in terms of the attack side. We just got both these ults as well.
7-1
one off.
JZZ.
So many
still
ults.
hasn't died, and we see the plays that they're making to get back into the site. They aren't just playing it
over
safe.
towards
They're still
B
pushing
main.
forward. Here to fight for A main a little bit again.
Instant Omen flash. Recon behind. No one shoots it.
And it's a paranoid
Nice.
to come out. That pings into Davies.
Nicely done.
And he also falls.
This was cool. Instant Omen flash, and then the recon landed. It was a very simple round, but the ult was really cool.
What Crew was trying
That was a bit too much, though.
Both extremities controlled by Made in Brazil.
That's so neat to see. It's the reverse, right? Usually it's the tacking Sova
Yeah,
from
they had a
Gelato
cool,
that puts it
had a very cool
up
round
the
for
gut
this.
of tree. Whoever is near window also gets hit, but that return fire, as you called, with the paranoia too, and they're back into the site.
Enemy remaining.
Dancing around, the
Spike
support
down
system's
A.
already there.
Yeah, they're
for
all
MIBR2.
over them. Okay, this is looking kind of disgusting right now.
So far for Crew.
This is
It's
looking
fully
kind of
denied.
disgusting.
Only one being damaged into this round.
That was a nice round though to bring out on this.
47 seconds left to just try to save this weapon.
They knew they had the op though, right?
He just got
From the last round, because they heard it when they shot it. So it was bold to
Trying to
push
get
B
this
main
timing
like
as
this.
FRZ just silently walks behind him.
30 seconds left.
Right now, we're still just trying to see for Crew. I mean, this is going to be a very important rifle moving into the next round. You see the economy coming out on the attack is almost non-existent.
Yeah, it's a already third loss max. They get 2,900 on top of what, 250 credits, 300 credits.
left.
So sitting around just 3,000 credits for KRU next round, which means MIBR gets to fold these rounds over, and they're to maybe 5 or 6, and they're not playing it slow. Right now, they're hunting. Quick shot at the end there, and we see how this happened in the beginning with the paranoia kind of just denying any type of dodge, and Heat still getting that off a pickup last round.
We'll blame Chris for this one.
MIBR is holding mid, and when they're not holding mid, still one person there and anchoring the site.
So yeah, he went down at the end.
They're staying far enough back to the 0 point that KRU is throwing out. Davies isn't getting as much information. I think we'll have to wait to see what this null command and the 3 ultimates that KRU have on deck here even do, since they aren't going to be on that low buy round. But who knows? Maybe they try to pull out something tricky here.
Oh, they replayed it. Hey, fair play.
MIBR has had their number, and it doesn't look like MIBR has had to do too much to do that. The defense is great, the 1v1s are great, and JZZ 9-1 right now. Everybody is playing on their game.
No, I think to piggyback on what you're saying, the defense is really good for MIBR. So far, with the first contact that you have from Heat, taking control of middle,
is starting to look a little bit like
play
that.
on that pistol, but as we get into these gun rounds, now Heat can really shut down a whole lane with this operator. Not too much pressure going in from KRU at these points. They're trying to fight on the
Again,
sides.
I never want to judge too early.
On these extremities, there's just a lot of utility coming out on that end to actually hold them back. So we had a little bit of that pause coming through, and we have an opportunity to come back here into this round for KRU. Going to be a full eco coming in.
And it was interesting to see how fast Heat went for that.
Yeah, it's true.
You know how much it means to MIBR. Yeah, just right off of the after the bonus round. Yeah. So seeing how quickly they actually put priority on that, so Heat can change the game.
KRU's better. I mean, when they had Honor,
a little bit of a mid peak.
I don't think KRU's ever going to reach that level when they had Honor.
Could be important right here.
Double miss.
Kunai's missing from Kesnet. But the information's there. A little bit of support coming out from KRU.
Okay, in terms of this one,
not too much mid pressure.
Low buy. Money is already out of control for MIBR. They can get a lot more.
Plan to break the alarm bot, rotating back towards.
Is Honor that good?
Only one player holding.
Very
actually
convinced.
2 now. You can see it down the lane through the X-ray. That's RGL.
He just did
He's holding it towards the tree.
And I don't think he is the most. He's not like
interesting position. Drone.
He doesn't come up with a lot of stuff, but he does a lot of research. He definitely steals a lot of stuff that's good, and he makes everyone very disciplined. And honestly, that's all you need to do in this. Don't have to come up with anything crazy. Just steal what's already good, and just he's very good at that.
Kesnet still manages to get a pick off the rotation though. Lockdown finally gets broken at first. He's holding towards the back of the site, waiting for the cavalry to help him out.
He has to kill at least one.
The null command comes out on
this
the
round's
attack,
done.
and finally things are looking good for KRU.
Can opt to retake this. You don't have Omen Flash.
So
you might just want to hold him in and do damage.
They go right in, garrison themselves inside the site now, and this is where it makes the operator tough to use. We saw this yesterday as well. C9 would get by the operator when they would just dash into the site, make sure they're in there.
Yeah, I'll try to be a bit better at reading
harder once they post up.
Someone else said that today
Waiting for
as
that
well,
smoke to dissipate. Still an opportunity for MIBR to get some picks if they can. Again, Kesnet dancing around and taunting Heat.
Last player standing.
Finally, it's going to be Davies that had enough out of that. RGL just trying to line up the last one.
Oh, nicely done from Kesnet to just wide swing this jump as well.
Good
run from them.
For KRU's 50.
Was a good run from them. Hit some shots as well.
Finally, this is how I like to win.
Coming out of the, at least the timeout, wasn't much said in it. But that definitely, as you said, reset players. They find themselves using ultimates on an eco round that they're pushing through, getting the thrifty to the 2 count. Now we have the actual timeout to come through.
They fell off after Honor, yeah, so and Honor made Lev good after like a little time as well, right?
They're
so
running into
that's
sites.
enough proof for me.
They're not blind, but that phrase "they're running in blind" is
also when we were like,
here, it seems like it's always MIBR on the upper hand of a fight.
I mean, the anti was always relatively alright,
so I think it's
but he did a lot better of a job slowly changing it up as
to be able to
he had more time on
I know
KRU.
that makes a bunch of sense. Bunch of sense right there, but yeah.
At least I'm able to decipher to say that KRU's under default's doing definitely a lot better at this point. On that
timeouts were also insane, yeah. Actually, we had a pretty good time against KRU. I think we were like 7-0, it was something like that. I definitely never lost against KRU. But one of the big reasons we never lost is they would honestly always just handpick a lot of our stuff. Like they would honestly just like take all of our comps and how we played, and it would be like a mirror.
It has been
and like obviously
a great
we know
solution
what's
for
good against our
rounds that are able to get last week
our own comps a lot of the time. So
against Furuya,
that's why we always matched up really well
trying
against
at least to
them.
bring this back now again. Off the timeout.
They took a lot of our stuff,
Couple of
especially
those
like
ults
our
that's
Haven.
been used on that Thrifty. They still have the Hunter's Fury into this round here.
Our Haven Ascent
defaulting
split.
into another round.
That's the big one is defaulting.
Yeah.
The knife, it looks like it's going to hit, actually, Heat right in the face here.
Okay, let's see if KRU can get a few in a row. That was a very nice round for them. They got a lot of money on that one as well, and had some gun upgrades. So.
Going head to head against Heat if Heat was playing towards that market.
Oh, close up upwards. You love to see it. Spike is still left behind.
Yeah, make control work for them last time.
The alert bot destroy. See who they can pull.
Yeah, that's
pull for Heat.
He's gonna have a really nice time against these. They dry swing maybe the most out of any team we've
to
seen.
find the first contact in the kill, and Davies couldn't clear the corner. So off a timeout that was supposed to be in favor of KRU, of trying to figure out what they could do after winning that Thrifty. Well, MIBR just plays the patience game. Lets KRU walk into them.
Exactly.
With all these 1v1s.
And in rounds, Van Silly, where we've seen 3 members of MIBR mid, and it's a place where Kesnet in the squad was able to find a fight on a protocol that would flash mid and clear cat. But this time, MIBR sits back. They have an awesome setup between
there's a lot of dry
and
FRZ. Lop is going to have the best time ever. He's going to just have crazy first bloods.
We'll see how they continue to make this one work here. It's just Nags left trying to hide it out. Another time we see KRU with 1 member left and MIBR hunting them down. Here's a ping.
Doesn't want to go for that orb. Just wants to fight his opponents. 14 seconds left to save his Vandal. The silver lining, though, the good news for KRU into this round is that thankfully 2 rounds ago they won a Thrifty, so they'll have economy to move into the next.
Finished.
Nice little pick.
Does KRU have bad util? They definitely rely, like their mid control and stuff like that. Like their first 5 seconds are really good.
Yeah, because that space is all taken.
Like the first 5 seconds is fine. Everything's good. Then when it gets into like taking further map control, when it's not fully set, it doesn't feel good. There's a lot of dry peaks at the moment.
And yeah, it's MIBR receiving that setup looks so good between FRC and JZZ. Like, you think it's safe, 1 picks, you don't see the killjoy, but no, there's still 2 market, and they're. I think that's the kind of slow down before you go fast for KRU. Identify a bit more. Use that utility.
Yeah, for sure.
Taking it in just a dry space. MIBR is not afraid. You already took down Kesnet, right? So they are easily holding
the
their
Brazilian
angles
teams
here,
have actually impressed me.
Just has to start comboing.
And probably impressed me the most, to be honest, in terms of like what we saw from Lock-In.
Talk about not being afraid. Look at
Fury
that
did look
pushing out Heat on the extremity again, controlling 1 portion of the map, a change of positioning for the Killjoy 2 to set up towards the A site. And with that, Nags and KRU at the beginning with the pressure towards A side, we're able to pick up an orb. So
still got a good amount of money for this if they lose it. But the problem is they have to push this off. But they have a drone for it, so they should be droning early. Okay, that's good. Tag. Oh, that's a nice instant ult, so they can't push off this angle. So now they have to. Now they should be knifing.
Very nice.
Should be knifing close.
I was like, let's see how fast they move on the drone. It looks like nobody gets to move on this. Heat.
Yeah, it's all wrong.
Set up again. They choose the right
I've lost all faith.
And a leg shot onto Davies could have been a collateral.
Again, they don't know what to do in these certain situations. It's actually really worrying.
Get the lockdown in for Nags. This is a great opportunity to get a recon dart, spam 2 smokes if we can. It's a Hunter's Fury instead on the attack. Just trying to push them back even more. KRU answer back though.
4v4.
4v4 for the plant.
Damn, they're gonna win this round. Fair play. Who would you change? Again, people jump to changing rosters. All of the teams, like, I'm a big person of just like trying to fix everything first before you change everything, because it's going to be same stuff. Like if they're lacking like fundamental stuff, it doesn't matter what your roster is, you're still going to suck.
It's more delays coming out from
like, you need to get the fundamentals there.
The rest of that util, we have a big paranoia on the defense, and there he go, comes out from RGL. There is that cue for MIBR to move in.
Melza did great. Yeah, nice smoke from him as well. Huge round.
He decides to fall back instead. The round's gonna come in for KRU to put 2 on the board, but that's a nice shot, at least on the escape.
And like the fact that they can win these kind of rounds where they lose openings like this by not using the util, like it's a great sign. This is what I'm talking about. Like the potential's there. Like it's not like they have bad players. It's just the understanding of certain situations.
Everybody on that play is what makes it work. We saw the teamwork there from KRU going into the side as well. Having each
C9 shows what you can do with good coaching. Yeah, it's a good example.
A deep breath there.
It's just so much more important in this game than at least from CS,
like
in my opinion.
Just a war, I bet, for KRU each time it comes through, and they're still going against an op. They're still battling against the big economy here. That's almost getting dwindled down on the side of MIBR. So one rung of the ladder.
We actually have a game where you can thrive from being an IGL. It's pretty cool.
This first half up.
The flash pushed him away, but he swings back out. And once again,
like you can kind of thrive in terms of like Karrigan, I guess, but he has to have like 4 superstars with him. But in terms of this, like you can really, this is the game where you can thrive as an IGL. Like FNS is a prime example of that. How can you tell if a coach is actually good? You can't really. No one really knows in terms of internals.
Just promoting heat.
You only really know when they move to a different team and they do similar stuff.
Of JZZ and Heat moving around quite a bit throughout the map. Now the A take.
Just gonna answer back right away. KRU doesn't want to give a chance for MIBR to breathe, but
nicely handled. They're struggling to qualify, but they've also proven that they're good with a low range, you know what I mean? It's hard to stay consistent.
Van Silly, this is kind of nutty. 11-3 for both Heat and JZZ. This is becoming pretty tough for KRU to do anything. And you just have to look at how Heat continues to do this. The rest of the team, they assist each other, right? JZZ and Heat are playing next to each other, and somehow they're still just trading, fragging, being in the right place at the right time, and actually gambling on the situations they need to. So, KRU...
Valorant is less tactical than it was last year. Oh no, that's a crazy statement.
Last time they had an eco is the one that worked for them.
So whole W, but Heat's there towards Wine. Already once again, we're seeing that story of that second round, the spike dropping very early just by the orb. And this is just going to be RGL putting smoke after smoke, but still gets dropped by a Sheriff. Nano starting to push Heat out of position, also being hit by fragments. And the utility actually works back for KRU.
Yeah.
Get the player advantage.
Overwhelm strategy right now. But this is going to be tough. Now they have to break this distance and see if they can get to FRZ's Vandal in time. Just on the outside, they could as well have JZZ coming from tree here.
The Melzer's posted up, just watching the angle, finally waiting for that smoke to come up. So gets out of that position of looking towards heaven. JZZ looking to spray through that smoke right after. Gets spraying a bit, maybe could have had some taps onto Davies. Clear cat
Loud
together.
And Fury, still have Loud. I think
KRU,
they might have given up with some of their experimental comps.
No smokes available for the retake of MIBR. Because it's FRZ and JZZ, so this is great positioning for KRU in the end. Nano Swarm as well. And that's Melzer with the wall bang. Salvaging some rounds now.
Dude, I tell you what, if they can manage to squeeze out a few
here. More W, that brings them the W. So they take that A main control, and last time they were so
the main stuff they're struggling from is just like the op, really.
Right.
Like everything else isn't.
MIBR
if they got better at just making sure the op doesn't get the fast kills,
then the match.
They'd be doing great.
Really timid to take these angles or use util and
when they get rolling and the other teams don't have money, I feel like they'll do pretty well.
Okay, you might have gotten or saw that there was a kill towards market. Now you can creep in. No, they're ready for it, right? But if it was a flash, if they were just kind of going with the fundamentals and not
allow keep forcing Gecko experimental comps, yeah, it's very much the same as Na'Vi, right? They're planning ahead. They know they're going to get to playoffs. They just want to make it a nightmare for the teams that are playing against them. Just loads of different comps means that your anti is going to take so much longer. You don't know exactly what they're going to do, so you end up wasting your time just looking at certain comps on certain maps.
Yeah,
it's just the long game.
Was playing with a lot of that confidence thanks to Heat's opening kills. You saw how aggressive they were on that beginning of that last previous fight from KRU once again in such a lower buy. They had 2 rifles, 2 stingers, and a frenzy, and still were able to win that round. So this technically, if you're looking from a sound play from MIBR, should have been potentially like a 9-1. But there's some small overheats coming out here and there for the defender's side. defender side, sorry.
NRG will always be able to. The good thing about NRG is they change how they play depending on the person they're playing. So when you look into their stuff, it's kind of hard to find similarities because a lot of the stuff they're doing is like a set game plan around the people they're playing, and that can be a bit of a nightmare.
The variations on this defensive setup too. The MIBR
you won't see too many similarities in their play with that stuff. Obviously, there's some stuff. Okay, let's see if they can get this. Let's see the last 2 rounds go. They get the attack up out. The attack up on the solo.
And really facilitate Kesnet the way that MIBR is facilitating Heat.
And it's Klaus actually opting on the attack, so we really want to try to create space with Kesnet. Already dashing across from Pizza, looking at the spawn.
Like the double smoked, man.
Once again, it's still Heat at the top.
How many first kills is he
push
gonna
all
get?
the way through? MIBR is playing so safe in this. They're not getting caught in kind of the aggression of the strategy. Waiting to play their life, looking for the 1v1.
Yeah, this one's not too bad in terms of cutting sound.
Slow down crew once again as they look for the 1v1s, and now they're gonna have to push forward even more. This becomes that no util usage I was talking about. Yes, they have the space, but now they're somewhat forced to clear. See if this paranoia hits.
Hits JZZ.
Okay, so they have it. There we go.
Both of them drop.
That was nice round from them considering the situation. I actually liked what they did a lot.
A plant save towards the
this
back
might be good for
Heat
one
is on the top of that wall looking for a pick
Does this smoke come out again this one way that they've been doing?
Still
Yes,
3
it
players
does.
alive, still that paranoia,
Stops
2
everything.
flashes. So lots of the util for MIBR to flood this site. Nobody from crew playing towards B main. But MIBR is being diligent. They want to make sure nothing's going on there.
This retakes a
Waiting
nightmare.
to see if they can get anybody on the antsy movement.
So DV's activated that null command. So you had to go to the fundies. Get that spacing in that trace! How does Maurice
Oh
get
my,
those
that was
2
nearly
kills?
incredible.
And now Heat's by himself, thankfully, because you had the power of numbers of crew on that pulse
Holy,
plan.
that transfer,
and Heat
chat.
decides to once again
What the hell
play
is
the
that
exits.
transfer?
It was
Oh,
close,
yeah, nice
it was
shot.
dangerous. But it's still gonna be crew.
This was a nice round from crew
To
though.
finish
They're
with
going.
another round on the board.
I kind of prefer them going a lot faster like this.
Oh, no.
Just make sure they can't get picked from the off. Their
He's just
util is good
screaming
to
out there.
block
He's
it
like,
off.
oh man, can I actually drop the op?
This was more Heat
the
just
money
being on
and
top of
credits,
this.
I don't think would have been there for it. So kind of playing against that and thereby.
Damn,
What
that
a
was nice.
shot by Maurice there, but give the credit there, obviously.
How many first
to
bloods has crew lost? A lot.
Seeing that happen to your team, you have to make the instant reaction play. They choose the right angles and come out on top of that.
That's kind of what we're talking about in
Pretty
terms of we
scary.
don't have to
But we
change.
do see they are
Don't have to
able
change
get some
lineups.
purchases in here,
A
even
lot
if
of
it
a lot
breaks
of
the
it's
bank.
just
It's the last round. We're spending all the way down, and they could bring it to
having
that
better
7-5
ideas
after
of
such a
how to push the op off of
first
angles.
half by MIBR.
Like that round over towards B was a
Positive
great
aspect for
example.
MIBR with the amount of rounds that they're losing. They still have money to work with and tried to go
Oh,
fast
the
into the
Omenor
site for crew.
towards short was pretty cool.
Melzer still
Damn, the
gets the
Omenor
opener
here
as he
from
comes
Melzer was
in from the
great.
door.
Can
And
he's got an
FRZ,
eagle.
that low weapon
Oh.
still lands one between the eyes of Melzer, holding towards Tell. GZZ for the rescue to move forward from
Damn, we need
Heavens to
fight
drop
here.
DVs. But the player advantage is still for crew.
Hunter's Fury.
Coming in from the spawn,
Uh-oh.
down Kesnet.
Oh my god.
Still no
If
plants
he
coming
did,
in.
damn.
If Nags can plant,
Imagine
they
he
can
went under
use a
there.
lockdown.
Exactly.
It has to get back to it though. Plenty of time to make this happen, but they have to figure out where they're surrounded from. He's obviously going to move after one shot.
Yeah, I mean that's normally why
But
you go to the bottom of the stairs. To be honest, is to get more angles.
The
on this
lockdown.
one.
Do they use it right away?
Out drone 2. Now you know exactly where they both are. But he still couldn't get that kill onto Klaus.
I mean, you got 5
both of them now
seconds.
playing towards Hell. Lockdown now broken, but his position's now given away. Shot dart close. No damage onto Klaus and Nags. Actually, it's not even a crossfire for those two players. It's a drop down. JCZ looking in. The wall bang, but it doesn't work out.
Kind of
Nags
close.
it
Damn,
finally gets the kill.
honestly,
And just like
pretty
that,
impressive that crew
we
managed to get
actually
5
have a game in
here.
our hands. It's a 7-5
Might be enough.
in the end at the half.
Yeah, crew really start to turn up the heat towards that second portion of the first half, not giving MIBR as much credit, working around each other as much. And by not giving them as much credit, they weren't as timid on angles. They were anchoring each other on trades, and they were
up the
getting
heat.
into
Nice,
the
dude.
site with much more confidence.
Feel that caster
MIBR
potential.
started to get pushed back on that because we weren't seeing the wins from them come from much more than awesome fragging and great placement. So that was a really great
Now, what went down, Lewis? Talk to
opportunity
me.
for MIBR to come back, or crew to come back, make it 7-5, and now we'll see what the analyst desk has to say before second half.
Thank you so much, fellas. And Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that I agree with Vancillion Rivington. A great comeback, really showing KRU like, hey, when they're down, they find ways to dig themselves back up, Sean.
It was that timeout that happened in about the middle of the half.
It would I'll just let Boaster do all the work.
Because they looked like they were in a really, really rough spot.
I'll just do exactly what Mini does now.
Dominating them in the
play TFT all day.
Yeah, but I think you had a round that you wanted to talk about here, which was MIBR. We had some questions about their development, but their fundamentals
they battered them?
Really
really interesting.
At least the first part of that half.
Yeah, this is the bonus actually for MIBR. This is pretty cool. This is mainly just looking at their kind of communication, how they play off of each other really well. They fight in mid on the bonus, which is a really good idea, right? You're at a disadvantage. You want to get as much info as possible. You're willing to take a couple risks, and they end up actually losing, you know, these fights in mid right here. So we're gonna fast forward through the fights in mid, and what ends up happening is a 4-on-3 right here, and the way that MIBR handles this is really well. You can see both initiators playing over here at the B site. The Omen's on Cat. The KO comes towards mid,
everything's really clicked for him recently.
Mid, and you can see it right there on the mini-map, actually. If we take a look at the mini-map, you can actually see KO rotating over
of it came down to like
site. Omen on Cat, Sova's actually B. He just darted outside of B.
I mean, a lot of it was on, in my mind, it was just on Mini and
the KO is holding heaven.
Mini and Boaster, and they did great.
If we take a step back one more time here, we're gonna actually see.
Because obviously the players were always going to perform to a
KO actually is going to stop things with the molly, and then the flash that comes over right there stalls the hit for just a second, and that allows RGL to come out the door, get this frag, blind.
You can do some cool stuff with Fade, though, but yeah, I agree with you.
Good how they got the information.
I like the cross-map stuff. I just think that the recon's so important on this map, Lewis.
The player site had the know-how to play util first and swing off of RGL. And it was just such a good little round by them.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. The fundamentals for this team were great, but they also had some cool preset ideas as well. We had round 5 in which they were going for, if we want to pull that one up too really quick, to run
share the
how does technology work? There we go. They had some cool preset ideas as well, where they were able to have this one, where they go initially for just this early Omen paranoia. I think the idea initially was just, okay, we can condition, we can try and fight for this space, but upon their player
on this, the knife is just mad.
React with this,
the knife is so good, the ult is so good.
Players were there, and it comes through and actually manages to get a kill off of this one, which sets him up in a really good place. And that's what's been cool about MIBR.
Small choke points, so a lot of times you have to use util to shut down the small choke points. So if you can use an ult that takes that away, it's an absolute nightmare. And obviously the knife, like all the walls are just like this.
Which is how they knew where to hunt through right there.
There's just so many great ideas.
You can just knife a wall that can't get shot, and it will get so much like beyond that.
So is KRU. We have, at the very least on Ascent, a fun match on our hands. Let's go ahead and send it back over to your casters to take it through to that next half.
Thank you so much to our friends over here at the desk. Indeed, great utility being used. Sean mentioned it at the beginning of this game. Keep an eye out for both of these initiators.
Yeah.
Going on
Dude,
to
KRU
the
have made this one.
And Klaus for KRU, for Maritz and to JZZ for MIBR. That allows players like Heat to get all these
if they get a
and
pistol,
hopefully we can see
you'd pretty much say
they're
they're in control as well.
Now as they take the defender half for KRU.
Almost the same setup. Not as many mid, but yeah, Kesnet is going to be hanging out in that mid area. Gain a little bit of information.
Knife Goodman's going to hit both if they don't move.
MIBR is totally looking for this.
Okay, that's just one.
As they throw one of their own.
Yeah. My information, Jet's about to peek this. Was the timing like? Couldn't be better. Dude, Brawl staring at the wall.
Kesnet decides to push down to get information. A nice first pick onto Moritz. As that may activate a split into this A site, trying to delay as much as it can. All that util's coming in early on the defender side, so they're going to have even less for KRU to try to hold this.
There is so many people from KRU here. Oh my goodness. And this smoke.
Smoked out. Doors being closed. Heat gaining some space by going on the top of the generator. Now they spot that crossfire for MIBR, but still at a disadvantage. 2 alive, a 2-player advantage. As Heat is looking for that clutch, a drop in as he gets caught into his reload. Still lands a headshot to Klaus. Kesnet long range. It's too far for these craters to connect.
No way.
Does so. 8 HP. Only 11 bullets left. Make that even 10. Next it on the top. Has the verticality, the advantage as Heat looks up.
Damn, good attempt from him. Good attempt. Crew in
That
control.
kind
Yeah.
of
Here we go.
plays
Let's
that
see what they
he
can do.
enters situations he can create. You see him putting the sweat onto Crew for that one. Huge play by Kesnet there to actually activate what MIBR
Is it still
was
possible?
doing. MIBR
It's
looks
still
like they wanted to
possible.
hit A, but Kesnet's frag there
Triple
kind of
initiator
made them jump the
Killjoy
gun.
smokes.
So they push in a little
as in-
unready. Still able to find the rest of
What do you
this,
mean? As
though,
in
as
no
he
no
gives them
jet?
hell in sight.
It's,
Max
I mean,
that
it's
clutches
doable,
it
but you're gonna
up.
have a rough time. You have to take image control.
These
It's very
rounds are getting
one-dimensional.
Very brutal.
You
That's
lose
just
a
the
lot. You
pistol
can't
round.
blast
See
from
how
here and
this,
here.
second goes. Guardian for Kesnet
It's
here.
like against a
Keep this
team
long
that know what
range
to
as
do.
they spam through some
You're
smokes,
gonna have a rough
instantly
attack
covered
side.
out by MIBR, so they can start to really push up into the map. Looks like they may actually leave JZZ here for a while.
No plan came in from MIBR, so full save that you have.
Recon and
Great
knife.
opportunity for Crew to instantly just tie this game on a 7-7 scoreline. Passive play, getting information off the initiators.
Yeah, this is kind of nice. It's going to settle down
Rotate
into
comes
2-on-2 though with all the map
Front
control.
Klaus into the B site to support
In terms of
here
how they're
onto
approaching
Nags.
it, rifle, okay, very
All of
heavy
MIBR
investment.
just
4 rifles,
really
so
trying to
every
pivot
kill
some
here
players
from
across
MIBR
here
is
towards this
massive.
A site.
Means the bonus is less and less. This knife,
Spike a little late on the rotate, but that actually might be
huge.
what they want if they decide to actually back up on this. Two got on that.
that's like a
0
prime
point.
example there of the KRU, right? Knife, they can't
And
get
it
shot
looks
to
like-
get full info shot.
Rehit of pistol somewhat, just on their own time. Running into tree here, Van Silly. They pressure Davies.
Could have done an Omen flash here.
Was able to land two, though. Thankfully,
Nice
with the
cleanup.
Guardian, does
They've
a
got
lot of
fast
damage with that
rotates at
armor
the
pin.
moment.
Or lack of armor even at all from MIBR into this round. Spikes down
Spike
out
down
of the
short.
open, though, just on the staircase of tree. Both players of Crew just watching it, but in different angles. So this is 2-2v1s.
Holy, wasn't
Still
super
held
convincing,
back
but
by
nice
Crew
swing
on
at the end.
Tied up, 7-7.
Good damage from MIBR. This, yeah, and they were too busy celebrating. They didn't actually get the extra rifle in
Another hit
terms of
from
the
Crew.
vandal.
They're feeling pretty
It's pretty
powerful
close
in
to
these
them. It was
rounds.
just here, right? It's just in heaven.
I think that first half is a little bit of a mental check.
Yeah, I think honestly
for
just
what was
happy for
happening
them. They were
because,
just happy
the
to win
Death
that
said
round. They got a little bit
timeout was
sketchy.
about, what,
It's a nice
5
round
in
from
a row, and they
MIBR.
were able
Good
to
damage.
grab it. Now
It was
feeling a
Guardian.
little bit better in these
Okay, well
situations,
then-
but still the
then not too
rounds
bad.
go down to only a few members. That's going to start making the economy real weird if Crew can't start selecting or getting these with a lot of members up, find the W, and get an operator into Kesnet's hand if that is the operation that they're looking for.
Early info, basically just gambling a little bit that they're going to go over
Tough
towards
to
middle.
do here is
This is nice
Crew
from
has lost a lot
MIBR,
of
and they
players
might be
in
able to
that
do this a
previous round,
lot
only
with
keeping
how
two
they're
alive,
approaching
so
this with the
bonus
recon
round is
and the
not
knife.
that great
Just stack A orb all the
on the
time.
defender half. On the defender side of Crew. Meanwhile, for MIBR,
That should go to here
shot
then.
dart that seems to be landing towards
That's
mid.
cool
to
lineup.
Clear the
Counter up
alarm.
onto the alarm bot. Average Jonas, if you're watching, do you like that one?
It's interesting. Crew taking all this space back up towards middle.
Time's relatively
they
low. This
realized that
knife
FRZ
is kind of
pushed
nice,
through that
clears out
last
a
time, and
deep
they're just
amount of
making
short.
sure
So
nobody's
with
getting
that
any space. So
information,
mid's
they go and
cleared,
stack
might
over
start to
towards
rotate
B.
off that or rotate
They
through to
might
tiles.
do alright
This is gonna
here.
be
The Shocks
possession here
could,
by Klaus.
Shocks could do well. He still has a drone and then has a recon.
Trying to go for shot dart damage.
Yeah,
into B
recon's
main.
going to be great.
Nice dodge.
It's going to stop them when they come out, and then you could even drone on
But
top of this
now
if you
finally
wanted.
MIBR comes in. Paranoia from both ends. 4 players fully
And time
blinded.
is really
That's gonna
low.
slow down the push from MIBR just for a bit. Now it's all it comes down to who's lucky by spraying through the smoke, and it's going to be MIBR instead. First blood
Oh,
into this.
fine.
But Melzer answers back. Heat now falls
15
towards the
seconds.
switch. That's both jets down.
2 people on
seconds left on
site.
the clock. We have to commit inside this B site. Crew still holds it back with the stack that they have. As
Oh, that's a
JZZ
big
gets
kill.
popped
That's
off.
it.
A 2v1.
gonna
There's
delay
no
some
time
time.
left for a plant. And the bonus round in the end. Lure weaponry for Crew.
Oi!
As even Davies lands one through the wall.
Look at these shots.
Crew feeling it now. What a defense. It's not even the Killjoy defensive setup.
Yeah,
too.
really,
That
really nice from them.
required the team
MIBR took a
good use
little
of
bit long on
utility
this
coming in
one,
there,
and
everybody
the thing
on
that was
board
kind
with
of the big
same
decider
strats.
of this,
Now they'll
obviously
still
the mid,
switch it up. The KJ
the idea
infill
to
will
punish
be
mid
over
early on was cool.
towards that
The
B
knife that
area,
went
and
short hit
from
no
the
one, and then the
get-go,
stack over to get
they kind of avoided
Davies in
everything
this
MIBR
spot,
was trying to
and then to do
the-
this.
the
You got one in
denial
between
of
them as well.
utility in middle, trying to
So
make
yeah, the knife on
MIBR
short was
move out
pretty
of
much
position.
everything. Today's been a good day in terms of these games of just how important initiators are, alright, and then the timing of the util to actually make sure that you can stack the right sites.
Really no focus there. If the Jet's going to do it, maybe the Famis or
the usage of initiators has just gone through the roof. Everyone's got really good with them.
In that long shot range.
At least for info gathering on the defense, it's improved by insane amounts.
We'll have to see if that comes back into play.
Yeah, no ops yet. KRU with full Vandals. Eco round from MIBR. First contact from the utility.
Oh my!
Wow,
that was sick.
That's how you get that right click in.
This is gonna be a hard round to retake than this one.
Still not moved into the site. Aldron's gonna spot so much, but no ping, no wallbang opportunity.
Well, that's all the information that they're all here though. Insta fast retake, Omen Flash is decent hit streak.
5 players stuck inside the site. Melzer answers already. First blood into the retake.
Man, the spams could be everything right now if they went for it.
Pushed up for MIBR, close to the staircase, making sure that nobody could really move down. A 0 point was also thrown by Maurice just to prevent more utility from coming out. 2 flashes available for KRU in the hands of Davies to activate this retake. Cloudburst first up. There's that first flash, but FRZ was ready for that one.
Some crazy
Second
rounds
one has
there.
been used, but we can't get any more kills coming in.
Lucky.
That line of attack just
that nicely done from MIBR. That first kill from Heat was everything. How much?
Now just looking for the exits. But another thrifty, this time in favor of MIBR.
What is? Man,
yeah, nice fast hit.
Oh yeah.
Basically, just went fast and they only had one person here. Right, it was a nice call.
Maybe it doesn't.
Killjoy had to somehow get like 2 or at least 1, but yeah, this was a nightmare.
That's when he knew.
Yeah, that's when he knew. It's like the Sage Wall we saw in week 1. That's the plays that we have to see MIBR making, though. He, again, on his shoulders, 19
this one's kind of huge
in this game. And making the plays to enter
Bucky.
And get into the site. Even with that denial, you cannot stop what he is putting down.
Oh, that's the Bucky.
Bucky not lucky for Melzer pushing forward.
It's interesting they got caught off by the recon that's been going here 3 rounds in a row.
Early per advantage, more pressure being done. Double push from Klaus and from Nax out towards B main.
Gotta talk about that peak when this round is over. That was so cheeky from Heat and JZZ.
Ooh, good timing on this.
A, though.
Davies is ready just at the front. MIBR
Huge
really wanted to move into the site
doable.
as they knew they had players advantage. But that's great anchoring play at the start.
Yeah. They want to just take their time now with this.
As JZZ's looking in for the plan will also allow the Hunter Secure to come out.
They just want to take their time, make sure they get knives back.
Problem
for them is they got no smokes for this in terms of main, but they can always jet smoke.
This lets to play the crossfire, double towards hell, 1 towards A main instead. Recon out, turret on the defense.
1 knife.
But it's so patient right now. Holding back for MIBR. Waiting for the utility to dissipate from that cloudburst disappearing. Now playing close. No tap onto the spike. Things are looking grim here for KRU to be able to win this round. Especially with that timer on that clock continuing to dwindle down. MIBR finally regained the lead.
Taking it back.
Wasn't too bad. Like low buy, they did alright.
Towards that A main control. We've seen a lot of it from both teams.
Davies gave it a good shot. There was a chance they got a better lineup there.
Or however many are going to be at A main.
So yeah, I thought this was nice.
Okay,
get another buyout. In terms of this, it should be a huge swing round because we got 2 people that can't buy, 5 people that can't buy, 2 big ults. We get the defensive Odin out. We got this ult and the attack. Honestly, the attack Omen. It's one of the better maps for Omen.
Picks up a first frag. Really neat stuff that they're putting together to give KRU trouble at the beginning of these rounds. They'll stay back for the 0 points. Both teams just getting that early info.
Yeah, they got good info with this knife. It hit 2 as well. Hit the Killjoy.
No damage, a little bit of damage.
We know now there's an Odin playing on a defense. Close towards the sidewalk. Now MIBR decide to fall back to just creep back up, scale back up for some mid-control. The ping's already coming out here. So the idea potentially just to try to break this alarm bot. And figure out what we want to do after that into the next steps. For KRU, just patience. Holding it from a double tree. There is that move up.
Looking for a fight. Looking for that alarm bot. Mission accomplished.
Okay,
I think
that's nice.
No, they don't leave. Seeing that
Force him into the 2-1-2. Looks like the Jet wants to go aggro. Recon goes in, doesn't scan everyone. They're going to have perfect timing, so they're definitely going B after that now. So they know they have a sweet spot recon in, so when they kind of hit the site, there's no recon that they have to worry about on any of these walls. So yeah, this could be pretty nice. They need to speed it up a little bit though.
Open to allow MIBR anything until MIBR goes
Does
for the
he
full
want to
hit
use his
execution on the B
nope.
site now through market.
And from that, identifying that the KJ is playing towards the B site, pushing towards there, avoiding the KOL from spawn.
Nice.
Towards the back of the site,
Keep an eye on the time though. The Omen ult was pretty big.
Prius. In the back works really well for KRU. Spike is now down with 6 seconds. Almost no time left.
One enemy remaining.
Damn, Davies.
KRU does it, holds it in.
Yeah, a little bit slow on this one from MIBR. We can say that for 2 of their rounds now on attack when they've been going for this. Missed their window. They needed to speed up. When this recon came here, needed to speed up. There's a small chance that they were waiting for a smoke. That's the only thing I can think of as to why it was so slow.
Their defensive setup
say
to
that
kind of
there's
allow
smoke had gone at this point.
MIBR to walk in without finding much, revealing their location if they have to take down the alarm bot. It's that situation that late. KRU is getting set up. They're able to lean and have safe positional movement. So now back to mid.
Okay, they managed to squeeze out a buy. So one person takes a hit. It's FRZ taking the hit on this one. And yeah, it's a nice force buy. But as we can see, money is not here. And money is not here also. So this is actually the big round.
Looking for that fight. Again, if it's not at the
I thought it was going to be the round before, but
it's at the mid fight.
They do take a bit of a hit on this.
And that mid fight is...
First time they try and go middle, they hear the drone, they go back, so we haven't actually broken the alarm bot. Yes, we have now. They called it, and we just see the shock come in. So that was nice.
Potentially an assist here.
Nice one way on this as well.
We have flashes available from both Gelato.
Because they killed the alarm bot right, they have to go into the 2-on-2, but Jets had too much info, they're gambling it a little bit. First round that they put a lurk in, I think this might work well.
Towards Wine. Speed identified, got spotted. He's gonna have to try to TP away, get the shrouded step back into the A side safely, and even at 0 point for the defense, spots 2 towards Catwalk. So KRU doing a great job to spot at least 3 players down towards the A side.
The fake with this? What's the rotate like?
Also just separating the map completely. Everybody in B is in prison right now.
Paranoia out towards Generator though. He's trying to dash in Melzer. A great spot, usually a great anchor player towards Dice. Gets a transfer on the second kill. JCC
Damn, I wish I could do that.
DV for the rescue, for the support in the end.
Spike
And that
down.
was sick.
lockdown that was thrown from FRZ
Remaining.
was looking for an opportunity to catch some on the
Yeah,
rotation.
can't
Does
win
so
this one.
onto
Wait.
Nexit. Now picks up a noting.
Just closed the door. Damn, that was actually the play.
As
He's have to
Davies
run.
in the front.
Oh, and a perfect flash
no
as well.
time for a plan, and Davies
Oh my god, he's
just
so
trying to
close.
survive, jumping in towards the front. The spray goes into the rock.
Holy hell, that actually was really, really close.
Back in the lead as we go again back and forth.
Gotta get a count of how many rounds have gone down to no plant, just fight at this point. They are drawing these out so far. Melzer able to do this
That was
over and over
nuts,
again.
man.
And MIBR had such a good setup. FRZ draws out the Hunter's Fury with the lockdown, so it can't be used later in the round, but it does not matter. KRU still finds the defense on the other side of the map with all of the team being separated. Incredible stuff right now as this game goes back and forth. KRU again take the lead, Van Silly, as we start off
massive.
just a little
Absolutely
bit back.
massive, that 1-on-1 in the end.
0 points, and now we go forward. Up towards Cat is going to be 2 here. We'll see if they can get heat into Tree with a
No
little
pressure
bit
over
of
towards
utility.
middle, so they got 3 here.
Oh, he's forced.
Flashed. That was Davey with no utility left though.
Damn,
Still
nicely done.
Maurice
Everyone
falls.
falls back after the
Nico
kills.
coming in from
Their
MIBR.
defense is looking good.
Trying to activate at least something they had. The strongest weapon being a stinger in the hands of Heat.
I look mad. But it's been nice. I wasn't really mad. I was a little bit disappointed within the first like 6 rounds, but it's got a lot better.
Early into the round, so KRU has a great opportunity now to get the lead by 2. Some breathing room, and even more confidence.
I'm not really mad. I don't. As long as I see some good stuff, I don't care. Man, I don't really care who wins. Like honestly,
Mappas, they
I've
were
never really been
looking
about
so
that.
good on that first half.
You thought it got worse? Nah,
KRU now
it's
has
been looking
found a
way
way
better.
to answer back since that time
The
out.
MIBR a
5
little
out of
bit
6
slow.
mentioned by Sean,
Like
and
that's
now
like the
taking
only
lead
thing I
10
could
to
get
9.
angry
Yeah,
at.
those
But
first rounds for MIBR were 5-1 before KRU, I think, found themselves
30 seconds left.
a way back in this. And now a way to win this very much in their future. 20 seconds left in this. Another round that goes right down
Yeah,
the pressure
that's
cooker
true.
to Van
Yeah, I saw Talon earlier. We had three
Maybe
duelists
scared on
earlier.
the low
This
HP.
is so fine.
Manages to escape on time. And yeah, always down to these last second plants. Will it work out? We stuck it off.
3 seconds.
Enemy remaining.
Not gonna happen here. There's 4 left. We're just trying to do that damage. And it's a right click classic from Klaus. We do have the 2-point spread after all for Crew.
Speed
They
up
finally
in this
got a
one.
little bit of a cushion to rely
Big buy.
on, but never
Big
letting
important rounds.
down.
They can't buy
A
next.
timeout for
Timeout's
MIBR
good.
here to sort out how these
Speed
site
up.
takes have really been
Make it
going down. I
instead.
think
If
that's
they're
the
trying to make a
problem.
decision at like 40
MIBR,
seconds, let's change it to
or, I'm
50.
sorry,
Maybe
Crew look really
even maybe
focused
1 minute.
in
Let's
what
make a
they're doing
decision.
on the retakes, on getting that. The positions of MIBR dislodged on those retakes, right? They really don't have.
It's funny how all
set
teams
up.
are
We
just like
actually saw
looking
some of the
slightly different.
retakes
They're like better at like the
where
mid-rounding
Crew was just
stuff, right?
already hitting
Like
what
Crew.
MIBR was trying to plant.
Okay,
It's all
if we break
in
it
the
down,
same
let's
motion,
break
so
just the attack
there
half
is no
down
real,
into
like,
into 3 bits.
exact to post plan.
Right,
It's all happening at
we
the
got
same time.
we
It
pretty
seems
much got
Crew
like the
is
first
really
5
being able to
seconds
thrive
where you
in
take
that
control.
chaos.
Then you have like the kind of
Crew's
mid-rounding
definitely
where you're
doing a
trying
good
to
job
maybe
to make
get some
MIBR
map
think that they
control,
have
maybe
map control.
breaking the alarm bot,
exactly.
and then you got the
How
exec
fast they are
onto
on
site.
market,
We're going like real
And
simple.
when they actually even give
Crew
up
were
towards
good
switch,
at
double
this,
towards the back
not
of the
good at
site.
this,
Same
and
thing
good
for
at
A
this.
site. You
At
have
the moment,
somebody like Davies
MIBR
that's playing close to
are
their tree, using
good
their
at
utility
this,
when
good at this, but not
MIBR
this.
think that they have tree
Right,
control and
they're
go
just a
into
little
an
bit off
A-side
on
hit.
some of that.
Well, it's players playing passively towards Hell, towards Dice. And they're always activating great utility to allow these double swings to come out and just shut down MIBR in these hits. Which is why we're
Because they're
seeing
doing
this
the hard
current
part,
result.
like
Yeah.
they're literally taking the map
MIBR
control, they're
still
not
with
getting
some great
punished,
mid-round
and they're
calls,
making them
some
into a
lockdown
2-1-2.
towards B,
But then they're
being
just
able to
taking that
separate the
little
map in
bit
that
too long. It's like
3-2
that extra
formation,
20
and
seconds
Crew
where the
not
the final
having
call
the
hasn't
solo
been
utility
made.
to get back in. A lot of the recon and
Coach
the
can
killjoy
listen to
as
player
well,
comms, yeah.
just to come through. Usually in that tree position when you're trying to reflank. Honestly, it doesn't seem like they've
You
felt,
fully
any
hit
pressure
everything that's going
in
on.
these situations. Now we'll switch up that killjoy utility back over towards A. We get a little bit more mid focus, and a change from MIBR too.
Okay,
They're going to
Crew
go
go
ahead
for
and
their middle
actually
play
leave
again.
RGL and FRZ over towards B to start
Kill
this
setup
off.
over
So
towards
you
A,
see
insta things.
a
The
lot of the
same setup
initiator
that we saw them
utility
do a while
backing
back.
up heat to make sure A main fight works and orb control is
Now
pretty
they should be on this. They're gonna hear this orb getting
There's really
taken.
no
They're gonna
pressure
press
being done
tab, and they're
towards
gonna
A
see
main in
that
the
this
beginning.
guy's one-off ult. So most likely you
Not
would
even
now
a 0
expect them
point
to go
coming out.
heavy for B
Just the
main.
one way is continuing on a defense for Crew. MIBR looking to fall back and work towards his mid like they always did. But look at this double play inside that smoke. Kesnet looking out. The flash.
Oh, the timing of
but
the
it's
flash
bad
is just a
timing,
little bit
but at least
unlucky.
Melzer is
Dude,
able to
Mel's
come
just
out
out in the
that
open
kill.
now because of it.
Instantly
Oh,
gets
that's so
traded out by
unlucky. I feel
Maurice.
bad for him.
As MIBR is still
Yeah,
looking to
Kesnet
fight
just
back.
timed this a little
For
bit.
mid, Crew decides
Little bit
to
bad.
do the opposite. Anchor back and turtle back towards this B side. The strength that they've been currently getting.
Timing was a little bit
towards
off on
these
this
late
one.
rounds.
Okay. What can Nags do?
Smoke still left. They choose to use it on tree. That's the last
Might
one
be able
for
to
now.
get
The
something
team's
with his setup.
gonna look to move on this, or at least see what utility. Actually, they may be stopped here, knowing it's Killjoy.
Oh no.
It's massive.
Unfortunate
That's actually
there, he
massive.
almost had that knife, but getting hit by that 0 point.
Yeah.
That's no utility used now towards the A site, allowing MIBR to move
Wait,
in.
they didn't break his
But that
util?
whistle did get broken, and he
Oh no.
gets owned by his teammate Fragment.
Oh
as
my
he
god,
was
the coach is
running
gonna
away
lose
from
his
the
life.
Nanoswarm.
Okay, it's still not done.
The point still comes down for MIBR, and Crew are looking to go for the retake with this player advantage.
Jet
Keep
should go
switching that
door and one
nanoswarm
way
change
and
didn't
smoke
come
this
through
one
for
way.
line of sight, but nonetheless, the sight take comes in. They're stomping down from heaven.
Three dropping at the same time.
Damn,
though, and
nicely
they get
done.
instantly
Got
dropped
one
for
smoke.
MIBR. Heroic
Damn,
play not
nicely
available
done.
for RGL.
Holy hell.
Crew get the defuse. Am I saying this right? Crew are at map point.
Crew
Kesnet-
are
Kesnet
at
wants his
match
knives instead
point,
of,
persevering
Killjoy.
through this match, saying thank you very much for a bit of help on that last round. Obviously, definitely made the
Three
retake
chances
a little
on this one.
easier, but
Looking
you're
good
right,
since they've been on
it
defense.
almost looked like that last 0 point was perfect to go
Yeah,
into
that was a
FRZ.
little bit of a
It
clown
wouldn't allow
fiesta
the
over
utility going
towards
through,
site,
but
I'm not gonna
they
lie to
only
you.
shot,
I
the
cannot
alarm bot going
believe-
through. The mollies are so much harder to see.
Yeah, I
You really
cannot
wanna shoot,
believe
you're
they didn't
focusing
shoot
on
the
angles,
mollies once
and it
the
comes
Killjoy
up to
was hit.
bite heat in the butt, and then a fragment. Still
3
20
ran
and
by it,
14
maybe even
on
4.
top I would say that's a fine
devastating.
play to have happen.
He goes down to 1 HP.
Still, but they are looking
one
for
tick
to do that.
from the
It's
Molly.
going to be tough, fans. Low buy Spectre for the side of MIBR.
Liquid
Your
incident.
crew
That,
has
it's
been
crazy
running
how
the
bad we were at
show.
that, David.
Ultimate's
The amount of
thieves on
times
the
we
side
would
of
see an
crew.
alarm
When
bot
you're looking at
after
that
the
non-commanded
after the
Hunter
killjoy's
Fury for
been
the side of
hit by a
MIBR.
knife and not shoot the
Even
alarm
more
bot, and then it
important
would
if you
hit
get to
us
these
like
close
later on.
rounds, 3 chances
I think
to
I
tie
saw
it
it
up.
like 3 times in our
MIBR
official
avoided the
lose in
0-point
my
early
mind.
into this round. Maybe want to try to get it
It happened
timing
all
as
the
soon
time,
as
we
the
just wouldn't
second
shoot
smoke
it for some
dissipates here
reason.
from that Omen thrown by Melzer, that dark cover. Then a null command is going to be a big one here. Here it comes. The timing of
I remember
smoke
watching VOD
disappearing,
reviews
the
and we'd
null
actually
command
like have our
coming out, so no
crosshair on
fragments
it
out
and
into
not
the
shoot
front
it.
sight of A on a defense for crew.
3 people
Paranoia
here.
then comes in.
Oh, this
Hunter's
might be
Fury
it.
on the attack. Melzer's just letting
Yeah,
everybody
this
through.
dude's-
But a nice little
this
underhand.
dude's
Let's
it.
go. We're not clearing it. We're not clearing it. It gets 2 kills.
Damn, nicely done from crew.
Only
Okay,
one left to
good
go. It's
recovery from the
JZZ
beginning of this. I was super
against
worried at the
all odds
beginning,
in a
but then they
4
actually
versus
really
1.
stepped it back. Their defense has been solid. MIBR,
At least
again,
avoid
just
the
the
Allo Dome, but I
extra.
don't know what else you could do
They
here.
do the hard work. Normally the mid rounding's like the hardest. Just their finishes at the end. They needed to make a decision faster.
30 seconds left.
They're waiting. They know. No chance to let this one go, but it is all up to JZZ here. Once he peaks, good.
Don't know what happened to MIBR after Loud game. Remember Loud were using a new comp that didn't look great.
From the first half
Don't, like,
carry through to the
overthink
second,
some
the
of those
thrifty
scores.
rounds, slicing and dicing through everybody's hopes and dreams on this one. But crew, once they got that
Nah,
two-round
it was
gap
just
that
the-
you
it was just
mentioned,
the
they were
end.
able to extend
Just
it,
the end game on
find
that
the
that felt bad.
win, even over Heat putting out that much